Hello and welcome to Joan's Pointed Plate. I am Joan and tonight we will be doing a cook with me. We will be making, I keep calling it the wrong title, creamy Tuscan shrimp. I keep calling it garlic Tuscan shrimp, but it's creamy Tuscan shrimp. And I will turn you around and I will show you the ingredients. Not shown is 2 tablespoons of butter because I'm going to put that right into the skillet. We have, well, it calls for a 1/4 cup of vegetable broth or water, but I'm using chicken broth because that's what I have. 3 cups of spinach leaves. It calls for 1 pound of shrimp, but I'm using like 2 pounds. 1/2 cup of chopped onion, 6 to 8 cloves of garlic chopped, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1/2 cup of white wine. The original recipe calls for 1 cup of heavy cream, but I am using 1 cup of fat-free half and half. 3 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes. These are just the dry ones. These are not in oil. And then we'll also need some olive oil and some fresh herbs, basil and parsley, which I forgot, and my husband is out at the store getting right now, so we may or may not have them depending on his shopping ability. But I am going to turn the camera back around, or no, I'm not. I'm going to go over to the stove, and we are going to get this dinner started. Oh, we also need pasta, 12 ounces. Now, it feeds 4, but it calls for 12 ounces of pasta. I'm going to use all 12 ounces because my family will eat more than 2 ounces. I'll measure out the 2 ounces or the 1 cup of pasta for me and let them go at the rest of it. So we will get started on this dish. Okay, so in our skillet, we have 2 tablespoons of light butter that we're going to melt down. And we will not be putting fresh herbs on this because my husband just called from the store and surprise, he can't find them. So I told him not to worry about them. It's all good. We don't need it. Maybe I'll throw some dried in there. My fault for not picking them up. Okay. To that melted butter, we're going to add the garlic. And we're going to just put this on low. And we're going to let it cook for about 2 or 3 minutes, but we are not going to let it brown or burn because garlic turns very quickly. So we're going to turn it down to low and just let it cook 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, the garlic has been cooking for a couple minutes, and now I'm just going to take my shrimp. I just seasoned it with salt and pepper, and I'm just going to dump that right in. We don't want to cook this all the way at this point. We just want to let it cook for about 2 minutes on each side. So it's just a bit underdone because it will finish off in the sauce. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit to medium, and I'm going to let that cook. I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, the shrimp are just undercooked, so I am going to take them out with a slotted spoon and put them in a bowl. This smells so good already, and it's nothing but shrimp and garlic. We eat, well, you can tell by the recipes I make, we eat a lot of seafood in this house, a lot of shrimp, a lot of fish. We really do enjoy it. Okay. Once we remove this to a bowl, we are going to add a teaspoon of olive oil back into this pan. And then we're going to toss in our chopped onions. And we are going to let those cook for about 4 minutes until they're soft and translucent. So I will be back once again to show you that. Okay, the onions are cooked. So now I'm going to add the wine. And I'm going to let that cook for about 3 minutes until it reduces by about half. Okay, the wine has reduced by about half. So I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes. Mix those in. Actually, the wine reduced by a little more than half because my husband walked in and we were talking and I wasn't paying attention. Because as I always say, real life around here. So we're just going to throw a little bit more in since it pretty much all disappeared. That's how we roll. Okay. Now we are going to add the half and half. And then the broth. To measure that out. Do you notice that every night while I'm filming my Cook With Me, my telephone rings? It's the same telemarketer every single night that calls us. And I don't think my husband knows that all you have to do is push the little button and the phone mutes. Now we're going to add a half a teaspoon of Italian herbs. And then we are going to let this simmer over low heat for a couple of minutes, like about 2-3 minutes, but we're going to stir it frequently. Actually medium heat, and we're going to stir it frequently. So I will show you what this looks like. Okay, our sauce has been simmering for a couple minutes. So the next step is to add our 3 cups of spinach leaves and to let them wilt. And that does not take long at all. Just kind of keep stirring them around. And then we will add the Parmesan cheese. Mix it again, and at this point, if you want to taste it and add more salt or pepper or whatever, you can. And then we're going to add our shrimp back in, and we're going to let this cook another 2 or 3 minutes until the shrimp is cooked all the way through. And at that point, we would add the fresh herbs. But in talking to my husband, it has been a comedy of errors tonight. I probably should not even post this video. He thought I wanted him to get basil and parsley that were like tied together in a little pouch or something at the grocery store. He didn't realize I meant a little pack of basil and a little pack of parsley, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We really don't need it. It'll be fine without it. And in another month, we'll have it in the garden and I'll be able to walk out the back door and just snip it off the plant. So I'm gonna let that go for just a couple more minutes, let the shrimp finish cooking through. The pasta will be done in 20 seconds and then we'll throw everything together. Okay, so now the directions say to add the cooked pasta into the skillet and toss it around, and that way it'll be nice and coated. But I did not mention to make sure that you reserve some of the pasta water in case it is too dry. We can add that pasta water back in. Man, 12 ounces is a lot of pasta. I don't know about putting all this in there, honestly. But I try, the first time I make a recipe, I do try to make it exactly like the directions say. And then from there, make adjustments. Of course, one of my family's big complaints lately is that I don't make anything twice because I have so many recipes that I want to try. We have not repeated a dinner recipe except for salmon, pizza, and tacos since sometime, I think in November. We have not repeated a dinner. And they're getting a little annoyed with me because I'll make something like that chicken fajita pasta. Oh my gosh, they love that. But they're afraid they'll never get it again. So I am going to have to start repeating some of our favorites. Okay. This is not combining as nicely as they said it would. So I think I will just put it into a big bowl, mix it all up, and then show you what it looks like, plate it up. And I will let you know if I needed to add any of the pasta water in here to thin it out a little bit. Smells absolutely delicious. And here is the creamy Tuscan pasta plated up. I scooped out 1 cup of the pasta for myself. That is 5 points for the Barilla Protein Plus. And then I just took some shrimp and the sun-dried tomatoes, which are all 0 points. But because of everything else in it, it does come out to 5 points for the shrimp and everything else. So there's not a whole lot of sauce, but I'm still going to count the 5 points for the pasta and the 5 points for the shrimp mixture. And I have 2 points worth of French baguette. So this whole dinner will be 12 Freestyle Smart Points. Okay, final thoughts on the creamy Tuscan shrimp. It was absolutely delicious. We all liked it. I believe that the guys went back for seconds. I picked a couple of extra shrimp out of that bowl too. I think the recipe, it said 12 ounces of pasta. So I assume they meant dry pasta because it said 12 ounces of pasta cooked till al dente and drained. It was way too much pasta. Like, I didn't even put it all into the mixture. Like, and it was just way too much pasta. So I think next time I would go with my gut. Normally, when I make a pasta dish, when it's just the 3 of us here, I do 8 ounces of pasta. 2 of them are for me, and then the guys eat a little bit more than I do. I keep pointing over in that direction because that's where they sit at the table, but of course they're not there now. But it was a fantastic recipe. We really enjoyed it. It was beautiful visually. So it was a thumbs up in our book for sure. And that's it. So I will get it up on my website tonight. There will be a printable version on the website with some pictures. And that website is jonespointedplate.com, all one word. If you try to Google it and put spaces between the words, you're only going to get my YouTube channel. So you can just type in www.jonespointedplate.com and it should pop right up. But like I said, it is a work in progress. I still, I try to get at least 2 recipes up a day. I'm playing catch up with everything. So sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a work in progress. As soon as my son gets home from college, he's going to start working on a search feature, and he's going to also categorize, I think, the recipes and things like that. So I will do a little bit of work on there tonight, and you will be able to find the recipe right there. So thanks for coming along and cooking with me, and I will probably see you tomorrow. I am making Sloppy Joes in the Instant Pot for dinner, so I will probably film that for you as well. Take it easy. Have a great night.